In today's video, we're going to be covering a very important topic. How do you go ahead and compete against product managers with more experience than you? And that could be a few things. That could be, how do you compete against product managers with more years of experience than you have? How do you compete against product managers with more industry experience than you have? Maybe they've been in digital payments longer, maybe they've been in healthcare longer, maybe they've been in data privacy longer. Another thing is, how do you compete against product managers with more domain experience? So you're going into this industry, but let's just say they need is to do this migration work, or what they need is data management, but it could be for the e-commerce space versus a fintech product, whatever it is. How do you compete against other people in the space that's got more years of experience? And let's just say you guys have the same years of experience. How do you compete against other product managers with more industry experience? Let's just say you came out of the same industry, but they're looking for like very specific domain experience. This process, I'm going to walk you through the entire thing on how you can do it on your own. And at the end of the video, I think you're going to find that it's going to be much more successful for you to go ahead and just join my program. But I'll walk you through the entire journey from the perspective of the hiring manager. And I promise you, nobody's going to give it to you this real or raw. Because I spent 3 years in tech recruiting in California, and I can tell you, the beauty of joining my program is I've been allowed to be in the feedback conversations and to hear the unfiltered, all-access feedback of what hiring managers actually think about you as a candidate, whether you're transitioning to product manager for the first time or whether you have all the product management experience that you believe that you need to be qualified for the role. I'm going to be giving it to you this way. And I don't want you to take anything personally, and if you do, I can't help it. If you do know the framework and how to communicate and how to solve all of the underlying objections, you will be able to go ahead and land this next job. But it takes practice. So when somebody is talking about, we decided to move forward with somebody with more experience than you have, it really behooves, let's talk about where we're at in the funnel. If you're at the very beginning of the job hunt, you're not getting the interviews. We have to focus on getting you the interviews, because sometimes you might see something like, hey, we're looking for this experience, and you're not applying, or you're applying, you're not hearing back. If that's the case, you need to go ahead and schedule a call with us immediately so we can find out what skills you're missing and get you leveled up so that you can actually get interviews. But assuming you're able to go ahead and get the interviews, there's a lot of people that don't have all of the relevant experience, and they go all the way to the final round. And they're like, and the company's like, well, we decided to move forward with somebody else. That is what pisses you off, because why did they put you through round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, make you do a case study that took about 20 hours of your life just to go do all of that, just for them to go ahead and take that offer away from you? Well, because they actually think you had a shot. They actually legitimately think you had a shot. So what you want to do is ask better questions in the interview. The reason why you're missing out on these opportunities is because you don't know where you fit into the organization. You don't know what is your product market fit in the organization. That is the fact. You don't know how you fit in. You're reading a job description right now and you're thinking to yourself, I have this. But how do you take all of that and fit it together? I can give you the raw ingredients of carrots, potatoes, some chunks of beef. You get where I'm going with this. There's a lot of different recipes that you can go out there and whip up. You don't know what the final dish looks like. You're just looking at that list of that job description list like, carrots, I got carrots. Potatoes, I got potatoes. Sirloin steak cut into cubes, I got that. I got salt and pepper too. I got garlic cloves. But you don't know what the end product looks like. You don't know if you're making a shepherd's pie. You don't know if you're making a bolognese sauce, right? You need to understand what is the end outcome that they want. There is a fantasy they have in their head of doing nothing. I've been saying this shit for years, and this is why my people are getting the best product manager jobs, while the rest of the competition is like, well, you got to be. We have that many unqualified people working in product management. Are you wilding right now? There's just that many people in New York and San Francisco that's just wildly unqualified in the tech capital of the world. We lead the world in tech. You're telling me what, up and down Market Street and up and down Broadway, there's just that many MBA grads with computer science undergrad, and they have 6-7 years of experience. They're just that. You know what? That's the reason why they don't have a job. No, it's not. They don't know how to sell themselves, but we can fix that because we already have. You need to figure it out. So, Rich, how do I figure it out? Easy. I'll give you the framework. You can try to do it on your own, but you're most likely going to join my program. If you want to join my program, make sure to do it before August 28th, before the price increases, because we're going to charge you almost double to get into the family. You need to ask them, what was it about my background that stood out to you so much that prompted you to schedule a call with me? And if you looked at my previous videos, you're like, yeah, you've been saying that a lot. Yeah, but are you? Number 2, are you doing it right? Those are very big questions. I don't know, because you're not part of my program and I don't know how you're doing. Because my people are getting jobs and you're still watching my YouTube videos for a reason. What was it about my background that stood out to you so much that to prompt you to schedule a call with me? Because there are hundreds upon thousands of applications right now. You could talk to anybody but me, but yet I'm on the phone with you right now. So clearly something popped. You don't need to go ahead and talk to me to go out there and fulfill any type of quota in terms of the number of candidates that you need to speak to in a given week, because there's already enough people that's out there in the market. So out of everybody that applied, what was it about me that stood out? Something about your background popped out to them that got them to think, maybe this person's going to help me work less. And that's what they really, really want. The second thing that you have to go ahead and figure out is, okay, today is August 17th as of the recording of this video. Come September, October, November 17th, what problems are you hoping to not be problems anymore? When you talk about what people want, it's very misleading, and people want all kinds of different things. When you talk about what people don't want in their life anymore, what people hate, what people absolutely despise, those answers, they become very clear. If you talk about what do you want, it's like, well, when we talk to people, it's like, I think I want a job that's going to challenge me. Like, I'm going to be working on cutting edge tech. That's all the shit you think you want. What you really want is you want the highest paying product manager job where you don't have to really do a whole lot of work with a fancy logo that's going to make it so much easier for you to get your next job if you get laid off or decide to leave. So you want the highest paying product manager job in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of bullshit for the most amount of money. I mean, let's just be honest. Yeah. You need to be very honest with that conversation too, because everybody's going in there saying, I'm a hard worker and fast learner. Unfortunately, when you go in there with the same pitch and you sound like everybody else, it doesn't make them want to run to their checkbook and write a number on the piece of paper, because even when you don't get the job and even when you don't outcompete somebody else because they have more experience than they do, you also end up in the friend zone, which is like, well, am I rejected? No, but there's no offer letter. That's the worst place to be, is the friend zone. It's what we call it in recruiting. You don't have an offer letter, you don't have a rejection letter either. So it's like you're just kind of there. It's like, I think this person can do the job, but for some reason, I'm not really feeling the motivation to pull the trigger and give this person the offer letter. So what you can go ahead and do is figure out, what are their problems? You need to feel out, where do you fit in? How do you go ahead and help them make this transition over? Now you need to go out there and ask yourself, in a perfect world, like, what are you spending your time doing, and what would you rather be spending your time doing? It's going to be impossible for you to do your job and their job, but what people look forward to, because the job description is changing all the time. Candidates are constantly finding their way in the market because layoffs have not stopped yet. So if you compete against experience, it's like, I have onboarding experience, or I have experience building out these workflows. I have experience with training documentation and process documentation. And then the next week it becomes a different job. You're no longer valuable because now we're looking for somebody else. But if you actually focus on the individual, what do you yourself what would you like to be spending your time on? Let me ask you this. In the past 7 days, when I work with a head of product, I find that the best working relationship that we can have is when they're able to do everything that they need to do and what they do best, and I can go ahead and take everything else off of them so they can just spend all of their time doing that. And I want to go ahead and take away all the meetings you don't want to go to. I'll go out there and talk and deal with all the people you don't want to talk and deal with, and I'll go out there and do all the things that's essentially busy work. I'm going to go out there and automate or optimize all of that and just streamline the whole process for you so you can get back to just doing what it is that you do best. Okay, now all of a sudden you're at the very top of the list. Because remember, even though you don't have the industry or domain experience, there's still a lot of people getting interviews despite the fact that they don't have the industry and domain experience. So when they say they moved over to the other person that has the industry and domain experience, you know what they're really talking about? What they're really talking about is, I was more convinced that this person would require less work from me to get this person to be successful on my team. So that might be very well true, but is that other person gonna make your life easier? Who knows? But I am willing to make your life easier, and I'm willing to go ahead and try to take as much off of you as possible. Now all of a sudden, people are very motivated when they're making a decision. It's always driven by emotion. And that emotion always comes from being very selfish, being extremely, extremely selfish. So if they're thinking to themselves like, all right, I can probably get that person up. But the smartest person doesn't always get hired. I've hired a lot of really smart people that were also extremely lazy because they're extremely smart. They're not working that hard, right? It's like they're going to think to themselves, this person actually makes more sense for me. That's how my people are taking the jobs. And in order for you to go ahead and do that, it takes more than just watching a YouTube video from me 1 or 2 times. I wish that was what if I could do it at scale, I would, because it would require the least amount of effort from me and my team. And I just crank out YouTube videos all day, which I already am. But in order for you to go ahead and get good, there's a few things that we need. Number one is you need positive reinforcement. So many people watch my videos and they're intrigued, but they don't actually put it into practice because they don't actually believe that it could work for them. In order for you to believe that it can work for you, you have to see it working for other people. It's really hard for you to go ahead and do something without any form of positive reinforcement because, well, the other problem is you're not getting enough product manager interviews. So you're not really ready to gamble a chance on my tactics if you're only getting like 1 or 2 interviews every other week or 1 or 2 interviews a month. You're like, I want to, but you don't know how to execute it properly. So you're still thinking to yourself, like, I don't think I should. Okay, let me go ahead and make it easier for you. When you're part of my program, number one, you get to see success very quickly. And the number one thing, you can watch all my testimonial videos on YouTube. We're uploading more every single week. When you talk about like what was the biggest advantage of our program, it's not the AI skills that we give, and it's not the mentorship. People always talk about the community. So much of this information is out there, but like seeing it work for other people that are your friends and letting everybody, like the one thing I heard over and over and over again is like, what did you find the most important part about investing in Product Gym? Was honestly the community, knowing that other people were in the same boat as me, knowing that other people felt as shitty as I do right now, as powerless, and just seeing other people get success really motivated me that I could also be successful in getting this job. The second thing that you need is you need practice. This isn't something that's like, interviewing is not a spectator sport. It's contact sport all the way through. You need to go ahead and mock interview. I can almost track it. The people that are doing 4 to 5 mock interview sessions like a week versus the people that are doing 20 mock interview sessions a week versus the people that are doing no mock interview sessions a week, the disparity in their income, you get out of it what it is that you put into it. And the thing is, if you want high quality mock interview partners, you need to come to Product Gym because we have the highest quality mock interview partners. The third thing is job hunting sucks. So let's make it suck less. Let's not embrace the suck. Let's make it suck less. I'm here to help all of my product manager, like Product Gym family members. I call them the family, is because We provide lifetime access here. If you ever need us again, we help you at no additional charge. I'm helping everybody develop additional income streams, because here's the thing that product managers need to really get a handle of. I talk to so many product managers, and I talk to so many people that work in tech, and they're like, oh, I got laid off. And then now I'm like, this is like the longest time I've been laid off. Product managers work until they get laid off. And the problem was, for the longest time, there weren't layoffs. But most recently, this is the longest time people have been laid off and unemployed. Sun goes up, sun goes down. It's sunny, it's rainy, right? Long periods of prosperity means there's going to be a longer period, just like an equal amount of time where it's going to be on the downside. But you need a job, and there's no other job out there. If you're making six figures, you know other people that are making six figures. If you feel like there's another job that's easier than product management, like, by all means, go get it. But most likely you're not seeing it, because this is something that's hitting the entire industry. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and recap it for you. Get the experience from the mock interviews and get the positive reinforcement, because knowing how to do one thing and actually feeling the confidence and actually going after it is a completely different thing. So schedule the call. Let's talk about how we can get you enrolled. Let's work out a payment plan if we need to, but let's finally get you out of this job hunt, and let's just make this the last time you ever need to look for a job. After this, you have a strong enough brand where all the opportunities just come to you, so you don't have to go out there and grind for this job. This is horrible. Horrible. My name is Rich. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not already. We're coming out with a lot more content soon. Let's go ahead and make this the last product manager job hunt you ever have to go on in your life.